President Biden is hosting NATO Secretary General Jens Stoltenberg at the White House today. The meeting follows NATO's defense ministers agreeing to a long-term aid plan for Ukraine. Russia accuses the Secretary General of escalating tensions because of an interview in which he said the alliance could deploy more nuclear weapons amid growing threats from Russia and China. CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes has more. Nancy, what's on the docket for today's meeting?
Hey, Lindsay. Well, the NATO summit that happens every year, where you have NATO leaders from Europe all meeting in one location, along with, obviously, the President of the United States. This year, it's happening right here in Washington, D.C. The U.S. is the host. So that's happening next month. President Biden will be planning ahead for that with the NATO Secretary General. But as you said, really the big focus here, and I'm sure it's going to take up a lot of the conversation today here at the White House, is Ukraine. And what those defense ministers were trying to do last week is to come up with a more consistent funding plan for Ukraine, to make sure that there are no gaps when it comes to military aid for Ukraine. Stoltenberg himself pointed out the fact that there was a wait about 6 months before Congress approved the most recent tranche of military aid to Ukraine, and he said that caused some losses on the battlefield. And so the goal is for all of the NATO countries to work together and to funnel this funding through NATO instead of ad hoc, each country working by itself to give Ukraine money, so that there's a system and so that they can make sure that even if one country or another is facing some internal challenges with getting new financing approved, that at all times there is the money that Ukraine needs. And this is really all geared, Lindsay, towards creating certainty, not just for Ukraine, but sending this message to Vladimir Putin that, if anything, the allies are more united now when it comes to supporting Ukraine, and that they are not going to be losing interest or backing off anytime soon, so he can't wait them out.
Obviously, we're coming up on an election in November. So how is the timing of these meetings, these discussions, so important?
Because what's the elephant in the room here is what happens if Donald Trump becomes president in January of 2025, and the Biden administration is no longer in power. Trump has made it clear that he thinks that he would end this war right away. He hasn't been anywhere near as supportive of Ukraine as the Biden administration has been, and this is something that worries, frankly, NATO leaders and G7 leaders. They want to know that the U.S. is going to be in this for the long haul. And so coming up with this consistent funding plan through NATO is one way they hope they can put pressure on all of these nations to continue to contribute, whether they're that interested or not. But of course, if you've got a president of the United States that doesn't want to provide funding for Ukraine, it's going to be very difficult to get that money no matter what system you set up.
Well, let's stay on the election. The Biden campaign is really turning up the heat on Donald Trump in its latest ad. What more can you tell us?
Well, they're going right at his recent conviction, Lindsay, in his hush money trial. They've got a new ad out today in which they say, in part, quote, "This election is between a convicted criminal who is only out for himself and a president who is fighting for your family." So if we were wondering exactly how much this guilty verdict would be factoring into the Biden campaign's strategy, I think we now have our answer.
Nancy Cordes, thank you.
You're welcome.